Good morning to all, and thank you for attending the Boundary Systems webinar on PLM in the cloud. I see that most of the attendees that have registered are logged in, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We are recording this webinar, so it will be available on our website, and upon request, should a colleague or of your company not be able to attend. So please let us know. We'll have contact information at the end of the webinar. So with that being said, let's get started. We will also have a question and answer session at the end. Feel free to type in questions as we go if you have them. I do want to warn you, I'm a one-man band here, so I'll be doing the presentation, so we will answer questions as we can. Thank you. Real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at the agenda. We are going to do an introduction of Boundary Systems and myself, and then we'll take a look at Product Lifecycle Management, or the acronym would be PLM. And then last but not least, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what the offering looks like as PLM in the cloud. So some of you may be familiar with Boundary Systems and some of you may not. So I'm Steve Seymour and I'm the Director of Sales at Boundary Systems. Boundary Systems, which is based in Cleveland, Ohio, has been working with manufacturing companies to manage and distribute data since around 2006. Many of our senior level technical specialists have more than 20 years experience implementing product lifecycle management, product data management, systems. The primary software we use for PLM and PDM are solutions from PTC. These solutions include Windchill and Navigate. You can view on this slide some of the clients that we work with, not only in the PLM arena, but also in CAD, CAM, CFD, along with many simulation solutions. Boundary Systems has a full team of experts to assist you with implementation, training, consulting, and purchasing of any of our solutions that your organization may need in the engineering space. Now, let's take a deeper dive into PLM on the cloud. In a nutshell, when we talk about Product Lifecycle Management, or PLM, we are talking about a universal challenge found in design and manufacturing environments. In order to take a product to market competitively, you must manage complex data. That data belongs to manufacturing, purchasing, marketing, engineering, vendors, and other key groups within your organization. The challenge is that the data can be found in multiple locations and in multiple formats. And if we think about each of those data locations as a unique database of intellectual property, you end up with what we see here, which is a chaotic spaghetti-like distribution of data. And these databases are more than just IT databases or systems of Windows directories. They can also include email attachments, legacy data, Excel sheets, Word documents, paper prints, faxes, local hard drives, thumb drives, and any other way employees may communicate with one another. So the challenge is that companies with this type of data distribution has two ways to deal with the situation. So they can either allow mistakes to happen, or they spend large amounts of human effort and hours manually managing the data. Nowadays, neither is acceptable in a modern product development company. So what is the alternative? The alternative is a software system that centralizes the data and then makes it universally controlled and available to the entire enterprise. And the best modern environments do not only manage data, but they also manage processes. Process management includes managing tasks, workflows, projects, and approvals. When an organization can accomplish this, they can lower costs, they can increase quality, and most importantly, they can get their products to the market faster. And that has been our experience for the past 12 years of implementing these types of systems and solutions. This approach to dealing with data management and processes management is well proven. What we will talk about today is how the cloud is making PLM more available to companies and easier to maintain than in the past. Some of you may be new to the product lifecycle and product data management in general. So I would like to cover the benefits of both PLM in general and Cloud PLM. Then I will get a little deeper into the differences of the two. PLM, or Product Lifecycle Management, is the automation of data management and design processes. In short, it allows companies to centralize all of their data and monitor all changes to that data. By enabling organizations to centralize and control data, then a number of businesses' benefits are realized. Those benefits include data sharing, so data sharing between individuals, departments, and locations, and accomplishing this while keeping the data secure. Revision control. Revision control is key because things changed. Data is always changing, and because things change, those who need that data need to make sure they are always looking at the latest data. Collaboration. Collaboration, enabled by a PLM system, users are enabled to touch the same data at the same time without any concerns. It allows end users to safely self-serve data without having to wait for someone to make it available or figure out who has the latest information. And these collaboration tools can also be used to work with customers and outside vendors. Automation of processes. Automation of processes, like things such as change requests, approvals, and other standard processes, allows teams to move faster and also enforce accountability to steps in any process. This is a high-level overview of a PLM system in general, but companies see big competitive advantages to using the PLM to enhance what may already be good processes. Now, the main purpose of this webinar is to speak specifically to PLM when it's used on the cloud. If your company is considering an investment in PLM, this is a good time to consider a system that is hosted on the cloud. So what are some of the reasons that some of our current customers use the cloud instead of their own IT environment for PLM? One of them would be our outsourcing administration or outsourcing expertise, specifically PLM administration. Many companies will implement a PLM solution and do an on-premise solution and then send an individual off to a training class, typically hand-picked out of their IT department, and rush them off to class and take them through a systems admin class and a business admin class around PLM, and then bring them back into their office, and everybody in the company just assumes that by that one class, that person's now an expert in an extremely robust product solution such as PLM. So one of the reasons why we see a lot of our folks go to PLM is that included with that is outsourcing of our administration experts. Often teams want to stay focused on their core mission of developing products and or may be familiar with PLM best practices. By working with a company like Boundary Systems that specializes in PLM, you can jump right to the benefits of PLM and know that the best practices are being applied and the system is set up properly. Scalability is another attractive part of the cloud. Because the resources are part of a larger cloud environment, the costs go down. But as you need more capabilities and add more users, you can incrementally grow the environment instead of trying to guess where you will be in a year or two. A quick start. Everybody wants to get started quickly. A quick start can sometimes be the most important thing for a company to require Cloud PLM. If a contract requires PLM and there was little to no time available to plan and implement a system, then the cloud solution would be the best solution to go. More robust capabilities. Robustness is a huge benefit to our cloud platform. With Boundary Cloud, we can host environments as small as 1 user or up to over 1,000 users. But at the end of the day, all users benefit from the same speed, security, uptime, and accessibility of the environment. So for smaller organizations, they pay the economy car price, but get the luxury vehicle experience. Cost savings. Cost savings for some companies can justify using the cloud or moving to the cloud if you already have a system in place. In a couple of slides, I will show you a sample comparison of cost of ownership. Before I do that, I'm going to show you a brief look at our Boundary Cloud behind the curtains. Here we are showing a chart of the resources that are needed for a PLM system. Our standard cloud environment comes with all 3 of these elements. I'm not going to spend too much time on the technical explanation. This is not a technical presentation, so I'm going to just keep it this fairly high level. The application server and data server, which do most of the work for tracking and vaulting your data. This data may include CAD data, drawings, PDFs, Word files, Excel files, or any other data that needs to be shared and revision controlled. The proxy server allows you to securely access the PLM system from anywhere you happen to be located. The redundant servers allow for immediate rollover in case of hardware failure. At the end of the day, the cloud is running off the same network and storage technology you may have in your current server room, and hardware can fail. In the Boundary Cloud, we use a mirrored server so that if the hardware fails on the primary server, we can have immediate rollover and the users never know there is an issue. The last customer that experienced a hardware failure from our cloud only had a 6-second rollover and they never even noticed it. Backup is key to any system. Whoops, sorry about that. Backup is key to any system that maintains valuable information. While not all of our customers require a CAD worker, most of our customers do. This is a server that acts as a software e-robot that monitors changes to any data and then creates lightweight equivalents of that data. This would allow participants in product development to view and interact with design models and drawings with lightweight PCs instead of expensive engineering workstations. It also allows those users to mark up models and drawings to communicate changes or requests back to engineering, manufacturing, or even the management team. What we would like you to take away from this infrastructure overview is that while PLM systems can seem easy and streamlined to the end user, behind the scenes there is a lot going on. And one of the benefits of the cloud is that you can access a lot of high-end capabilities, even if you only have a few users. In addition, this environment is scalable. So if you start off with 10 users today, but you need 50 users in a year from now, or 100 users a couple years after that, we can easily make more resources available without changing the core structure of the environment. Excuse me. All right. Sorry about that. One of the biggest reasons companies move to the cloud is to decrease overall cost of ownership of the PLM system. And before I run through this example, let me put some caveats out there. Let me first say that the cloud option is not always the most economical. It really does depend on individual company situations, so it may be valuable for you to work through a return on investment with us to understand your cost and what might work best for you and your team. Also in this case, we broke out the software from the hosting costs just to show some more details. At Boundary Systems, we can cost out PLM a different number of ways. In this example, we took a small to medium-sized company who has 10 engineers, 10 users who participate in reviews and approvals, and 50 employees with view-only participation. This is not a standard environment because there really is no such thing. All environments are different, and we can match whatever your specific needs may be. We have some customers with more engineers than downstream users. We have other customers with hundreds of light users and a very few heavy users and very few view-only users. It really just depends on you and your organization. But we would be happy to sit down with you and discuss your specific needs whenever a convenient time to meet may take place. In this example, the cost of ownership is lower for the cloud because the cost of the hosted services are less than the IT technology and IT services costs associated with an in-house hosting of the environment. Now, this is fairly common for where companies find value in the cloud environment. But of course, internal costs can differ between organizations. The cost of the software is going to be the same whether the software is owned directly or packaged with the services in a traditional SaaS packaging. And because costs like buying hardware are one-time, the upfront cost can also be lower. And again, this is a fairly simple cost comparison. We should be more than happy to work with you or anyone to complete a custom costing for your ideal system. Considerations for Cloud PLM. There are a lot of considerations when thinking about an advanced PLM system that will house important company information. Here are some high-level discussions to consider when looking at Cloud PLM. Startups. If you are starting a new company or starting a new division that has an immediate need for PLM, Cloud is a great fit. With monthly fee options and the ability to avoid some of the startup costs, you can be up quickly with all the same capabilities as a large organization. It is also scalable from an IT resource perspective. Sunk costs. For companies that already have a big investment in things like a server room, backup systems, security devices, and IT personnel, the cloud makes less sense. Though, as the cost of on-site PLM goes up and cloud costs go down, it may make sense at a later date, even if it does not make sense for you today. CAD. CAD data, whether it is 2D or 3D, it is resource intensive compared to simpler documents like Excel and PDFs. It is one of the considerations when implementing an on-site or cloud system. Luckily, modern multi-site replications and similar tools make the cloud a great option, even when you are dealing with very large CAD files. Security, which is one of the most common fears when people look at the cloud. For companies that deal with some sensitive government data or require a similar type of security, the cloud is now a good option where it was not in the past. Working with a company like Boundary that are familiar with those standards, we can assist you to make sure that you meet any specific standards or requirements such as ITAR and make you rest easy that your data is secure and safe. Types of users. Types of users. When planning out a Cloud PLM system, the conversation often starts with determining who are the heavy users, who are the light users, and who may need to access the system but only have a view-only license. By configuring the system and the IT resources correctly, you can best control your cost. As part of our cloud environment, and even if you're building an on-premise solution, our experts can sit down with you and walk through the steps and determine based on their roles who will need the heavy license or access to the most data within your system, who may only need a light license or minimal access to your PLM solution, and who really only needs to go in there and view some things and take a look at data at certain times. You'll be surprised at how low the costs are and how many individuals within your system probably need access to that system. If you have looked at Cloud PLM in the past, here are some of the technologies you may not be familiar with that make the cloud as much more attractive option for PLM. Multi-location. For organizations that have locations spread throughout the United States or in other countries, we are able to leverage technologies that speed up file transfer times. Replication servers allow you to mirror the latest data to a local server that the file retrieval times are the same as if you were in the same building. This is especially helpful for large data types like CAD and CAM data, where if you're trying to upload a file across networks, sometimes this can take hours. And now file compression technologies like Riverbed allows you to solve speed issues in areas for which VPM is not an option, like in China. Tailored interfaces. As more and diverse role players participate in the development of a product, modern software can now tailor the interface to the users. A plant floor assembly manager may only need the ability to view or print or mark up drawings. A manager may need access primarily to workflows and the ability to review and approve documents. And CAD designers may need access to all PLM tools. By making only the tools needed to do their job, we cannot simplify the interfaces and help more users to participate in the sharing and authoring of the information. We can simplify the interfaces. Database integration. As companies have more and more legacy data in different databases and formats, it becomes more important to be able to either merge systems or have them speak to each other. This is true whether you use a cloud platform or an on-premise solution. We now have many different tools to be able to accomplish this within a reasonable budget. How about multi-tenant environments? In the past, there were only fully hosted systems available for PLM. Now we have the ability to allow companies to share even more resources. In these environments, we can lower cost even more by allowing better use of resources for publishing, proxy servers, and resources dedicated to the database. While this may not be an option for all companies, it is one more good option for keeping your costs low. Terms. As Cloud PLM becomes more commonplace, we have been able to offer more packaging, which can include monthly fees instead of annual fees. Which option is best for you may depend on what your cash flow goals are. Oops, sorry about that. Before I thank you for your time today and take some questions, I want to do a quick summary of what we talked about today. PLM has huge business benefits, including lower cost and faster delivery times. Implementing PLM on the cloud has come a long way and will likely be the dominant way of using PLM software in the future. Boundary Systems can deliver Cloud PLM with a number of unique market benefits and a number of different solution offerings to fit your specific company needs. Things such as CAD expertise with advanced manufacturing processes. We have best-in-class support and solutions. So as I thank you for attending today's webinar, I also wanted to leave you with some additional information. I'm Steve Seymour, the Director of Sales at Boundary. My email address and direct phone line are on here. If you're looking for more information around PLM, whether it be Windchill or Navigate, you can go to our website, which is www.boundarysys.com, and find additional information there. Or you can email myself directly, or you can go ahead and email sales@boundarysystems.com, and we'd be happy to set up a time to sit down or even do a teleconference with you and your team, discuss PLM and or PLM solutions in the cloud with your organization. With that, I will open it up to any questions. We can go ahead and type these in or raise. Just go ahead and type in your questions and I'll ask them as I receive them. All right, well, it doesn't seem that anybody has a lot of questions, but please feel free to reach out to us. Again, Steve Seymour, Director of Sales at Boundary Systems. Feel free to visit our website at www.boundarysys.com. And we look forward to meeting with you and your team members soon. Thank you.